Hello and welcome. My name is Ajaxpost and this is a channel update. Would you believe it's a channel update for July 2020? Yes, we're already halfway through this year and what a strange year it has been. But things are slowly, very, very slowly returning to normal out there in what we call the real world, which seems remarkably unreal at the moment for most of us. But let's put that to one side, if we may, for the moment, for the next few minutes at least, and have a look at what's been going on here on the Ajaxpost YouTube channel. Well, first off, the kind of dull stuff, but for me, the really rewarding stuff, the really amazing thing that I see every month on the channel, and that's the stats. On the 1st of June this year, I achieved, thanks to you, 17,500 watched hours, which is quite a ridiculously large figure. Thank you so much for even the few minutes. If you spent just that on the channel, thank you so much. It all adds up. And following on from that, a couple of weeks later, on the 20th of June, we hit 175,000 views. Again, I mean, these numbers are kind of astronomical for me. They are ridiculous, but they are so gratefully received. They really are, and it's thanks to you and your response and engagement with the channel. Makes this side of it so rewarding. And just to top that off, at the very end of June, we reached 900 subscriptions. For a couple of days there at the very end of the month, the very beginning of July, it bounced around 1 and 2, up and down. So it kind of struggled a bit, but now I think, at the point of recording this update, we are at 903 subscriptions. Thank you to each and every one of you. So that's kind of all the dull sort of accounting stuff out of the way. What about what's on the channel itself? Let's have a look at what games we're doing, our sort of core of the channel output. Starting with Transport Fever 2, which I think is probably what's generated the most views and subscribers on the channel over the last few months. That game is continuing. That one's going to carry on. I just love the Transport Fever series, starting way back when it was simply Train Fever. Yeah, we're getting that. We're rolling on. We're getting into big complex routes now. We're getting into big passenger routes, big freight routes. That's moving on, and I don't see that coming to a conclusion anytime soon. And Sim Airport, that one again is doing really well. After a few dodgy decisions on my part, a few sort of oddities in my design of the airport, it's really starting to take shape. We've got the first floor in use now as security and departure lounge, which is kind of the key of this particular airport's design, which I wanted to get vaguely right as far as you can within the constraints of a game. And moving forward, over the next month, we will see that filling out. We will complete the first floor operation with all the shops, the retail, the eating places and so on. So that will carry on. That game, I think, does have a limited lifetime. Once we've got Bristol up, working and designed as I want it to be, as close as we can get it, that series will come to an end. But that won't be for... We'll certainly carry on through this coming month of July and probably through into the rest of the summer. Beyond that, we will see what we do with Sim Airport. Computer Tycoon, I'm finally getting to grips with the game. I'm playing on hard mode, as you know, which I don't usually do in many games because I'm not actually that good at many of them. But I've taken the advice on board that's been suggested by yourselves in conversation, online conversation with a developer, and getting my head around how the latest update to the game works. And we're doing quite well so far. That's all looking very positive. I'm still only a tiny player in the game against the AI, but I seem to be making some inroads. The developer has promised a major new update. The last post a few days ago did suggest it's about a month or so away, so whether we will see that in July, I don't know. But there's so many good things that he has planned for the game. It's on the roadmap. Again, if you go to the Steam page for Computer Tycoon, you should see a link there to the roadmap. In fact, I might well put it in the description to this video. There's so many good things planned for the game. City Skylines, again, I'm really enjoying playing that. But I have to say, again, probably because I'm playing the game so many years after it was first released, and there are so many other great content creators out there doing really amazing things with the game. I'm not getting as good a number of views for that series as I am for many of the other series I do. So it's quite possible that this may actually be the last month we see Cities Skylines on the channel in its current form. I'll see if I can sort of change that up a little bit, see if I can improve that, but yeah, that may be a little beyond me. So we shall see, but I'm really enjoying it. It's good to be back in the game after a few years since I previously last played it. And all the new content is really fun to play with too. So that's been good for me. It's been fun getting reacquainted with the game, but I'm in such a competitive market in terms of YouTube content for the game. I may have to put that to one side just so I can put other stuff up which gets more engagement and gets more basically views that you like to see more on this particular channel. Now, in terms of other games, we have an ongoing sort of irregular series for Bastide, very much in early access, but again, I'm not sure how many developers there are involved in this. It feels like a sole developer again. There may be one or two other people involved, but there's updates coming out at a very rapid rate still, almost daily, but certainly every week for the last month or so we've been getting major updates and changes to the game. So that will carry on. It should at some point, I think, evolve into a proper ongoing weekly series, but at the moment I think I'm going to keep it as a once, possibly twice a month update, just to coincide and show you all the new stuff that's come out in the latest updates to it. But again, if you're particularly interested in seeing more Bastide on the channel, do let me know, either in comments below this video or comments on the actual Bastide updates that I produce, as I say, so far about once every month. Now, in June, I was lucky enough to be given a couple of keys to some interesting new games. Slightly different to what I usually put up on the channel, but intriguing for me personally nonetheless, and hopefully of interest to you. And they were Evil Democracy 1932 and Cyber Attack, both very early in early access. Both sort of obviously kind of rough around the edges and just needing feedback from the community of players. Whether I'll see much more of those on the channel over the next month, I'm not sure. It depends really on the frequency of updates and how much new stuff of interest that we see coming through from those. Particularly in light of the fact that I was hoping to see Transport Inc. coming back at some point in the last few weeks. They were part of the Steam Festival of Gaming, whatever it was called. They had a live presentation of the demo and a Q&A and all the rest of it. So the team are obviously still there working on the game. But in terms of quite what it looks like now, nobody's quite sure. It's all a bit sort of hush-hush, if you will, which is a little disappointing from our perspective rather, as content creators and indeed potential players of the game. But the basic core idea behind it looks quite fascinating, and I've enjoyed what I've played of it so far in the sort of pre-release alpha demo versions. So if that comes along in the next month, it is kind of scheduled for this summer, then we may well have a look at that particular game. Beyond that, there are a few other games on the horizon, but nothing I'll particularly point at the moment. No, I'll say nothing more on those. There's a few I'm keeping my eye on. It really depends on how much I can fit into the schedule. Okay, now, the big news that I want to announce in the July update is a giveaway, the first of my, hopefully, monthly giveaways. Now, these are simply as a reward to you as followers, subscribers, viewers of the channel, and my other sort of social media tinkerings, the Instagram and Twitter account. And also, really, because I'm getting some games for free. Some developers are coming to me and saying, would you like to see this game, you know, do a review, have a first look at it, whatever. And I've also signed up for the Humble Choice. They had a lovely discounted subscription rate of, I think it was $12 or £9 in UK money, in real money, which really was too good a bargain to pass up. And you get a great selection of games every month. Now, many of those I will decide I don't have time to play, that I'm not particularly interested in as a player, and others, well, yeah, they'd be good for the channel. So I might take those keys and use them to create content going forward. But of those games that I'm not particularly interested in playing or using for the channel, then I would like to offer those as keys to you as viewers, subscribers and followers on my YouTube and other social media platforms. So the big game I'm giving away this month is This War of Mine. And it was, in fact, which is why I'm quite keen to promote this as the sort of lead game for the giveaway, I think it was about the second or possibly third game ever I created content for on this channel. And it's a beautifully crafted game, very atmospheric, very evocative is the word I'm looking for. It's about a war in an unnamed place, but rather than playing the soldiers, the generals, the masters of destruction, you're playing the people caught up in that, the ordinary civilians trying to survive through the destruction, the death and the anarchy that comes out of being in a war-torn situation. But it is beautifully done, it's very effective, and it really gives you the feels, if I can use that word, for what it might be like to try and survive through 30, 40 days of warfare. It involves a fair amount of scavenging, survival against illness and the wounds that you might incur through being raided or attacked by soldiers. And it does involve, if you want to take that route, actually taking the lives of other NPCs, of other characters in the game, just in order for you to survive. So you may need to attack, for example, some soldiers in a supermarket to safeguard another civilian. Is one little scenario you're presented with. But fascinating game. So if you're interested in winning that, or one of 4 other game keys that I'm putting up as alternate prizes, if you don't fancy that, or if you've already got This War of Mine. So I'm looking at offering, these are slightly older games, but nonetheless most getting good reviews on Steam. Hyper Light Drifter, NBA 2K20, and also FTL. So I'll be announcing 2 randomly selected winners, and you'll get your pick of those games. Or if you prefer, a 20% discount code on the Humble store for the next 30 days. So whichever of those you want, they'll be up for grabs in the competition, in the giveaway. The giveaway I'm running for the very first time on Gleam, so hopefully I can get this right and it all works. So if you wanted to partake of that, if you want a chance of winning one of those games or the Humble discount code, then just follow the link in the description below, or I'll post it obviously on my Twitter and Instagram accounts, and we'll announce the results at the end of the month and see if you might be a winner in that. But in the meantime, for now, thank you so much for your continued interest in the channel, for your subscriptions, for your views, and please, if you fancy winning the games, any one of the games, then do enter the giveaway competition following the links in the description below. But from me, keep yourself safe, keep yourself sane. I hope you have a pleasant and hopefully enjoyable July in the summer, or if it's winter, down if you're one of the Southern Hemisphere viewers. And I'll see you again soon. But until then, from me, Ajaxpost, bye-bye for now.